What a peeping Tom who spied on a 14-year-old neighbor is accused of doing now. And bad dogs finding good homes, why your newly adopted pet may be a danger to your family. Well, we start this evening with breaking news. More fires burning in Albuquerque's Bosque right now. This is a live look from Sky News 13. Albuquerque firefighters are on the scene battling at least 3 small fires. Now, this is in the area where Bridge crosses the river, near Bridge and 8th Street. This is not far from the National Hispanic Cultural Center. We have no word at this hour on what caused these particular fires, but you can see they're not especially large. We're told between 1/10 to 1/4 of an acre each, but there is something suspicious about the fact that these fires are burning so close to each other in this area. You can see firefighters on the scene, and of course there's been no lightning or any other natural cause of these fires this afternoon. Now, this has people worried because there was another fire in the Bosque earlier today. A woman out for a walk spotted it around 1:30 this afternoon on the south end of Tingley Beach. She called 911. Crews had the fire under control within an hour by pumping water right out of the Rio Grande. The witness says she was concerned because it has not rained in that area recently and the flames were spreading quickly.
It freaked me out. I'm just glad that they were able to come as soon. It was really small, maybe like 10 feet around, and I mean now there's flames everywhere.
AFD says none of the trails were closed because that fire was so far from the trail. The department says they are watching the fire. It's at about 1/4 of an acre right now. We should also tell you that Sky News 13 is continuing to fly over the fires currently burning in the Bosque near the National Hispanic Cultural Center, and we'll keep you updated on those fires. You can also go to krqe.com to watch live streaming of that coverage from the air. Our other top story, a Santa Fe man is charged with throwing a banana peel at a big-name comedian during his show last night, and some people who were there say it was racist. News 13's Chris McKee is live in Santa Fe with that story. Chris?
Yeah, Dean, this story is making national headlines here today. Chappelle saying that he went forward with pressing charges because the man didn't show any remorse. Now, here is an audio clip of Chappelle's reaction right after this happened.
Hey, who just do a banana peel? Hey, would you guys like to see your favorite comedian beat the out of somebody?
Santa Fe police say this guy, Christian Englander, threw the banana peel at Chappelle from his seat in the audience. The peel hit Chappelle's leg. Now, according to the criminal complaint, Englander told cops he did it because Chappelle was supposedly making, quote, racist comments towards his friend. He also said to police he didn't feel sorry about what he did. Police say Chappelle chose to press charges because he felt the whole thing was also racist, along with the fact that Englander didn't show any remorse. At one point, Englander chuckled to police, quote, maybe I should have handed Chappelle the banana. Lots of fans at the sold-out show were shocked by what happened. One wrote on Twitter, the show was a mix of Dave is the funniest dude on earth and being very professional, and also wholly expletive. Can you believe we saw this racist bull? Another fan, Chris Ortiz, was there. He says you could tell the banana affected Chappelle.
Not something you'll forget anytime soon.
Definitely. And, you know, Dave Chappelle said that. He's like, well, this guy did one thing tonight, and he made sure that I'll never forget my show in Santa Fe.
Englander is charged with battery and disorderly conduct. Court records here in New Mexico show that he doesn't have any kind of criminal history, though. Dean, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Now, the theater says it has apologized to Chappelle for what happened. They say they do not permit any food inside in the first place, and they say they are considering banning Englander. Well, the city's animal shelters are under fire today, accused of workers there knowingly adopting out dangerous dogs. Now the city is making changes, at least for now. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhart is live at the city's East Side shelter. Gabby?
Dean, 2 employees filed complaints with the city's Inspector General's office. The animal welfare director tells us that some of those claims just aren't true, but she did decide that some of those questionable dogs will have to wait to find new homes.
More than 200 dangerous dogs left Albuquerque animal shelters last year after failing a national behavioral test, according to the second in command at Animal Welfare, Jim Ludwig.
That's scary to think you're going to take home a good animal and then there's a chance that they might be dangerous.
Ludwig, along with behavioral analyst Carolyn Hidalgo, took concerns to the Inspector General's office for investigation. They say the department director, Barbara Bruin, knowingly released dogs into the community that showed aggression towards people or pets.
We don't believe those dogs are fundamentally unsafe.
Bruin argues the behavior test shouldn't dictate if a dog deserves to die and says she never knowingly released a dangerous dog.
There's always disagreements, but in these cases the dogs were still, we felt, adoptable or could go to another rescue.
But complaints against her claim those disagreements have put the public in jeopardy. This little girl was attacked last year by a dog adopted from the shelter. Another instance cites a dog slated for euthanasia, then taken off the list by Bruin. That dog later killed a smaller dog.
There have been mistakes, there have been things that have gone wrong that we could never have predicted.
Bruin says there's no way to predict each case. She says adoption success stories outweigh the bad ones. Still, the investigation has potential pet owners concerned.
Because I have some grandchildren, I wouldn't want a dangerous dog around them.
For now, the shelters have put a temporary stop to adopting out any dogs who have failed a portion of that behavior test. The director says those dogs will be retested by an outside party before they decide if the dogs will live or die. Back to you.
All right, Gabrielle, thank you. The animal shelter's behavioral analyst put in her 2 weeks notice saying she is now uncomfortable working in the shelter. Well, the Attorney General wants an auto shop owner accused of scheming to follow the law, and he's threatening to arrest him if he doesn't. Hector Balderas also wants the man's customers to get their cars back. This month, a district judge ordered a Reliable Engine Rebuilder, that's the name of the business, to close. That's after the owner, Robert Mitchell, failed to appear at a hearing. He was supposed to explain how he was going to pay restitution and penalties. Balderas says he will ask the judge to issue a warrant for Mitchell if he fails to appear in court again. Well, the feds have given New Mexico a waiver that will let the schools continue being exempt from No Child Left Behind requirements. The U.S. Department of Education gave New Mexico a 4-year extension instead of 3. New Mexico is getting the preferential treatment because it has implemented changes, including teacher evaluations, which are based in part on test scores. Those evaluations have been very controversial, and teachers claim they are not fair. Today, the governor signed a new law that helps protect kids from sexual exploitation. The law closes a big loophole that actually made it legal to hire a child under 13 for sex. The old law only protected children between 13 and 16 years of age. The new law makes it a felony to hire a child under the age of 16. The governor says it's about time the law changed to protect all kids.
It always warms my heart to see that we are improving on our criminal code to make sure that we're holding these people accountable. We're finding the loopholes, we're fixing them. And at the end of the day, that these kids know that there are a bunch of grown-ups behind them that are fighting for them.
The governor also signed a bill requiring cell phone providers to send an alert every time an Amber Alert is posted in the area. Another law would make more criminals subject to fees that will go in a fund to pay crime victims' bills. Martinez says those funds have been depleted because some crimes were not on the list, like assault and battery. We continue to follow breaking news right now out of Albuquerque's Bosque. That's where firefighters are battling at least 2, perhaps 3 blazes, and this is near Bridge and 8th, not far from the National Hispanic Cultural Center. This is a live look you're seeing from Sky News 13. You can see 2 big plumes of smoke, and firefighters think there may be a 3rd fire as well in that area. Sky News 13 will stay on this. We'll bring you updates as we get them in this newscast, and of course always online at krqe.com. An Albuquerque man who was watching a teen girl shower is in trouble again. Coming up, the 3 things he did to land him behind bars and what he says about being on a list with sex offenders. Plus, a production company is making changes after a crew member dies in New Mexico, what they're doing to make it safer for their workers.
Sign up for breaking news text alerts on krqe.com.
You're looking at a live picture from Sky News 13 flying over at least 2, perhaps 3 fires in the Bosque where Albuquerque firefighters are battling blazes that were discovered just a short time ago. We know there are at least 2 fires, and they may have discovered a 3rd in this area. None of these fires is very large. They're all between 1/10 of an acre and 1/4 of an acre, but they are suspicious because there are 3 of them all in the same area. This area is near Bridge and 8th, which is also very near the National Hispanic Cultural Center, also where Bridge crosses the Rio Grande. There was also one other fire earlier this afternoon around 1 o'clock near Tingley. That fire, we're told, has been put out. So certainly some concerns about how these fires got started. 3 small fires all in the same area near Bridge and 8th Street. Albuquerque firefighters continue to battle those blazes. You can see the smoke as Sky News 13 hovers above the scene, and we'll give you updates as we get them throughout the evening, and of course always on krqe.com. Well, producers of a TV show that films here in New Mexico are implementing new changes. This comes after a crew member died. Netflix and Warner Horizon Television produces Longmire. According to Deadline.com, they will be providing charter buses to make it safer for their production crew. Last year, Gary Joe Tuck died after falling asleep at the wheel and crashing on his way home. He was on his way home after working an 18-hour shift on the Longmire set. A former APD deputy chief now has a lasting honor at the Albuquerque Police Training Academy. This is the man being honored. There's a remodeled gym that's being dedicated to Don Daniel, who you saw there. He was the first director of the academy. Chief Gordon Eden says everyone who's passed through the academy has been influenced by Daniel. Daniel says he was surprised by the honor and is honored.
All the kids involved and all these folks from out of town, and then of course all the retirees showing up. I don't know that there's a better day in my working lifetime than today.
His name now appears over the doors as you walk into the gym. Daniel was also a Marine. So a few fires in the Bosque right now. Luckily, conditions pretty calm.
Yeah, fortunately the winds aren't out of control today. Tomorrow it's going to be a much different story, so that's only going to elevate our fire danger for much of the state. So that's why we have red flag warnings posted for central and northern New Mexico, those areas in red. So that means no outdoor burning with the winds picking up and the very dry conditions that are in place and temperatures well above average. Now you probably noticed today that we had a lot of cloud cover from time to time out there mixing in with the sunshine. Some showers trying to fire in parts of the state and even some thunderstorms, but unfortunately the air is so dry that none of the rain is really reaching the ground, just some light spotty showers. Some of these are thunderstorms just to the west of Socorro. Those are pushing to the east. So if you do find yourself under a thunderstorm, be sure to stay indoors and away from windows. And also farther to the north, some spotty showers around the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, the Jemez Mountains, and up to the San Juans in northern New Mexico. So we'll continue with that chance for spotty showers tonight. And then eventually after sunset, we'll see our shower chances come to an end. Right now, still at 76 degrees. We should be in the middle 60s for this time of the year. So temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees above average, middle 60s in Las Vegas, 80 degrees in Roswell, and 81 in Alamogordo. So it's going to be another warm night out there for that evening walk or run. So for tonight, a mild night, those spotty showers coming to an end. Our last little system pushing to the east. Behind it, the winds will be picking up, especially in central and eastern New Mexico. Temperatures staying well above average for tomorrow, and also as we head into Thursday. And Thursday is going to be the day that the winds are the strongest, no matter where you are in the state. So timing out the winds beginning before lunchtime on your Wednesday for tomorrow, where you're seeing the blues. That's why we're going to have those breezy to windy conditions. Winds sustained from 15 to 25 miles per hour around dinner time for tomorrow, with wind gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour. But then take a look at what happens. These winds really aren't going to come down Wednesday night into Thursday. They're just going to go right back up, especially between 4 and 5 o'clock on your Thursday. Winds sustained from about 20 to 30 miles per hour. And where you're seeing that yellow, that's where we're going to have those wind gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour. So that's why we have those red flag warnings and fire weather watches in place that I showed you earlier. So that means no burning outside with those winds picking up, us drying out, and temperatures staying well above average. Into Durango, Pagosa Springs, and Cortez, temperatures falling back into the 30s tonight, so we'll be on the cool side here in southern Colorado, then topping out in the 60s and the 70s. Cold front moves through on Friday. That will send your temperatures back into the 50s for at least a day before they go right back up into next week. Over to the Four Corners, mostly sunny skies, winds gusting around 35 miles per hour, temperatures into the 70s, 75 in Farmington, 71 in Gallup and Grants, with cooler air for Friday. Over to the southwest, those winds begin to crank up tomorrow, sustained out of the west from 20 to 30 miles per hour, and then they'll stay strong for Thursday with higher gusts from 40 to 50 miles per hour. Over to the southeast, it will be breezy to windy for tomorrow, temperatures near 90 degrees in Carlsbad, 85 in Roswell, Cooler air moves in for Friday and Saturday. Over to the northeast, winds sustained out of the west from 20 to 30 miles per hour. You'll notice those winds picking up tomorrow afternoon. They'll continue to stay strong for Thursday. Temperatures falling back into the 50s for highs by Friday. Over to the northern mountains, partly sunny skies, spotty showers tonight. Those showers end, and then those breezes kick up for tomorrow, even stronger for Thursday. And then over to the east mountains, temperatures into the 60s and the 70s. Winds gusting around 35 miles per hour. And in the metro, the wind's not a factor tonight. They will be as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, especially on Thursday. That's the day to watch. And then for Easter Sunday, looking good, sunshine, 74.
All right, not a bad week. Chris, thank you. Well, a peeping Tom who spied on a 14-year-old neighbor is accused of misbehaving again. His probation officer says he acts like a guy who doesn't think he should have to follow the rules. News 13's Aaron Drawhorn has the latest. Aaron?
Dean, this was a big case with a lot of twists and turns. Remember, Dylan Maho was severely beaten by that girl's father. This is his mugshot from 2013, and here is his mugshot today, because tonight he sits in jail in trouble again. The last time Dylan Maho appeared before a judge in December, seconds after he got probation for voyeurism, his courtroom etiquette should have been a sign this admitted peeping Tom could be trouble.
The state is very concerned with Mr. Maho.
Handcuffed in a jail jumpsuit, Maho facing another judge today accused of violating his probation.
There's also been a continued pattern of deceit on the behalf of Mr. Maho.
A nude Maho fondled himself, spying on a 14-year-old neighbor through a window while she showered in 2013. The teen's father chased Maho down, badly beating him up on their West Side street. But under New Mexico law, a peeping Tom does not have to register as a sex offender. Because of the nature of Maho's crime, though, the sex offender unit in the probation office closely watches Maho. According to court documents, he does not believe he should be supervised in the sex offender unit, and he continues to struggle with this and states he is not a sex offender.
The state is going to be asking for some jail time.
That's because prosecutors say Maho violated his curfew on March 3rd, even shutting down his GPS on Christmas Eve, going unmonitored for a night. He also tried to open an electronics store that would sell video game accessories near two schools. Maho's public defender wanted him released.
The alleged violations are very technical. Mr. Maho attempted to open a store selling electronics and allegedly violated probation because he signed a lease without permission.
I'm not comfortable with releasing Mr. Maho under the circumstances of this case.
No middle finger this time. Dylan Maho leaves court for a cell held without bond. Defendants are often brought into court in groups from the jail. The judge let Maho's case be heard last today so other inmates wouldn't hear that he spied on a 14-year-old girl and then possibly target him in jail. Dean, back to you.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Maho will be back in court in 2 weeks, where a judge could revoke his probation and keep him in jail for months. Well, a breaking news update coming up after the break, and scary moments on a Santa Fe road for one deputy when he sees headlights coming right at him. New at 10, what happened next and what charges that driver is now facing.
See reported photos and video on KRQE.com.
Sky News 13 hovering above the Bosque right now, where Albuquerque firefighters are battling 2, perhaps 3 small fires in the same area. This is in the Bosque, not far from Bridge and 8th Street. This is close to the National Hispanic Cultural Center. These fires broke out just in the last hour or so. There was another fire that broke out around 1 o'clock this afternoon in the Bosque near Tingley that was reported by someone walking in that area. Now, these fires are suspicious because they are so close to each other and there's no known cause for them at this hour. But as you see, not very big. All of these fires are 1/10 to 1/4 of an acre in size, and because the winds are not very strong right now, firefighters seem to have the upper hand on both of these blazes, of course, keeping an eye out for other blazes in the area right now. We'll keep you updated on that story throughout the evening at KRQE.com. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Thanks for watching.